Good morning and welcome to game number 1 of the APSC2 Christmas Invitational. This is day number 2, and this is when the round of 16 begins. Currently getting into this right off the bat, I'm Rifkin, joined today by our lovely observer Partoof, and spawning here in the lower left corner of the map, he is Zerg. I thought he was Terran, but I was mistaken. It is, from Vega Squadron, Alastor. And it is Team APSC2, of course, that is behind this entire tournament. Big props to them for putting it together. His opponent, though, in the top right, playing for Quantic Gaming. With that blue question mark? Of course, it is Quantic's Hyun. I'll bring up the team color because Quantic, of course, has that really cool red logo. Quick shout out to Team Vega Squadron. Apparently, the logos were not available in the map mod we're currently playing on, so no disrespect to the team. I wasn't like, you know what, screw those guys. We don't want to see that awesome looking shark on our stream. So just to make that perfectly clear, no hate, just wasn't there. But I do like Vega Squadron, actually, and this is not me trying to make up the difference. If you guys have ever heard my cast before, you've heard me drone on and on about it. But Vega Squadron's turned out some pretty good players in the past. In fact, some of my favorites have come from Vega Squadron. And I know I might not be the most familiar guy with Alastor, but the fact that he's on that team gives me a lot of hope that he can maybe actually go toe-to-toe here with Hyun. I mean, it's ZVZ to start with. This is a matchup that can go either way in the early game. I mean, realistically, no matter how Korean you are, a good Baneling head is still a good Baneling head. We'll see if they go through that, though. I kind of feel like that's the two different levels of this matchup, ZVZ. If there's going to be Zergling Baneling dancing around, if you are good enough to fight amongst the Zerglings and the Banelings you control, can maybe not win you the game, but at least keep you alive to get to that mid stage. That's where you're really going to find yourself going toe-to-toe with Hyun. But at the same time, Hyun's a player who's very comfortable with his roaches and may skip that phase entirely and completely if allowed to. For now, though, pools should be finishing up around the same times. He hasn't not started his gas yet. This doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play gasless, but it is a little bit delayed, so he might just end up going for those extra queens. Oh, thank you, Aleph, for breaking the races down, too. For those who don't know, for this tournament, I guess, for what goes through to the round of 16. Wow, 1 Terran, 4 Protoss, and 11 Zerg. This should be a pretty good tournament. I think some of the favorites here, too. I think a lot of people who organize the tournament are rooting for Vortex as well. Get that Spanish pride and all that. It's kind of hard to call who'd win. There's actually a lot of good players involved. To give big notable shout-outs to me, you got like Nurchio and Tefel and Bly and Hyun. I mean, Goody, Vortex, Happy Zerg. There's almost nobody in this tournament involved at the round of 16 that I don't have like a big smile on my face saying like I can't wait to cast them. And it looks like Hyun has skipped the gas, so what we'll probably be seeing is the extra queens come out with perhaps that spine crawler to make up the difference. When you play gasless like this, you're obviously not leaning towards playing that heavy Zergling or Baneling aggression, I guess. Unless Hyun decided to invent a style that involves a lot of slow lings, but that's not going to have happened anytime soon. Does get up here to scout, one of the lings does get popped off immediately. First blood and all that. He sees the metabolic boost on the way, but the big thing is he's not scouted a Baneling nest. He doesn't see the additional gas. It's just one gas, and it's not even mining. So for him to see this, immediately should say to him that there's the very large potential of some Zergling aggression. Now, Queens have been moved out of the base intentionally here. It's not like he misclicked them. He's going to try and pick off this Overlord. A, in the hopes of supply blocking his opponent, forcing a very expensive piece of larva, but also clearing up a lot of vision. So if he himself were to suddenly put on some aggression, I mean, we do have the gases now being taken. The Overlord won't scout this initially. It's been killed. It's out of the base. 4 queens and a spine crawler as predicted coming out of Hyun, so he'll be able to tango with whatever Alastor sends his way. Alastor in the meantime has taken his 3rd base. Well, I don't know. Nothing too insane just yet. I'm really waiting to see, because Alastor, if he's going to make a lot of lanes, it usually comes around now. There's 6 coming, that's fine. We got to see what those larva injects turn into, though. If he continues droning, splitting his workers, that's fine. Looks like he is going pretty ling heavy, so might be sticking with that ling all in, even though it's been scouted at this point. I don't necessarily love that idea. Again, there's 4 queens and a spine crawler to defend against this. As long as he gets a semi-wall up in time, he should be okay to deal with it. It looks like Alastor is going to pump a lot of lings. He's getting the evolution chambers. Well, there's no way he waits for a +1 timing. It's like way too late to get the carapace at this point, in my opinion. But we'll send this out. Hyun's Overlord sees this coming, so the double evolution chambers, plus these queens, plus the spine crawler, they create this really perfect wall that these lings should really not be able to break anytime soon. So Hyun should be fine. He's in no immediate danger. Yep, some pokey, send them back. So yeah, range weapons have been started by players, just basically looking to go towards that Roach mid game. Now I gotta give a quick salute to Snoot. He's not involved with the game, he's not involved with the tournament. Liquid Snoot's this player who, I think, like one of the few players I've been seeing do this lately, who's been incorporating some lings with his roaches. That's something Alastor is going to be afforded the opportunity to do. Now, that's not because like lings are good versus roaches per se, but they are very cheap cannon fodder. And if you get that right mixture of both, they can actually heavily sway a battle in your favor. The extra hit or two it takes for a roach to kill the ling is like the difference of your roaches dying or not. So even in low numbers, they can make a large difference. And having speed, having metabolic boost, going to make it incredibly more maneuverable around the map. Hyun's never going to be able to do that quick remax of a lot of lings and send them across the map. I mean, that's kind of your go-to. You know, max army versus max army. Oh, I lost half my units. Just instantly make like 90 lings and they're ready to reinforce right away. But that's something Hyun's not going to be afforded this game. His third is incredibly late compared to that of Alastor's. In fact, not even going to go down initially. The ling's going to chase the drone back. But that's okay. He's already got the roach numbers up and running. Alastor's a little bit behind in the roaches, but he's going to try and make up the difference of that in upgrades. So he'll have 1-1, whereas Hyun will actually also have 1-1. I take that back. Oh, small shout out to Maynard, Zeph, Tempo, and everyone else tuning in. So just glancing over at chat. Good to see so many friends stopping by. A lot of roaches did a great job zoning out these lings. I kind of wish Alastor wouldn't throw them away like this, but completely understandable is right now what he's prioritizing is scouting information, trying to figure out the size of the composition of Hyun's army, whether he needs to throw down like 5 spine crawlers in defense at home because there's a big push coming, which we can see is not. Again, these upgrade timers are so sick. Big shout out to Ryan Shutter for involving these in Game Heart. Tunneling Claws coming out of Hyun, a little bit curious, a little bit cute. This will, of course, allow roaches to move all burrowed, but more importantly, give them insane regen. So we may get to see some pretty intense micro come up for this Roach Wars. It won't just be your typical, you know, do I have the concave or not fight. This will be Hyun burrowing the low roaches, unburrowing them almost immediately because they'll be healed to full in about 3 seconds time. Not literally, but I mean, they heal so quickly with those Tunneling Claws while burrowed. Man, I love watching Roach Micro. You don't see it enough because not enough people go for burrow up in this matchup. There's a couple players who I really like Jig and such, who do it often. Ooh, small hole in the wall will allow some lings to run by, but this is not an amount that is anything close to dangerous. If these 4 turn into Banelings and Hyun forgets about them, then yeah, that's a big danger, but that's not going to happen. They'll get a Drone Killer 2, might get Drone Killer 4 actually. Hyun pulls the Roaches out of the main. He's heading towards the third because that's where the fight's coming down with the Roaches. Unfortunately, his Roaches start the fight a little bit delayed. It is 34 roaches to 18. Alastor has this going in his way, no matter how you look at it. Forcing the fight, the spine crawler, though. The burrow actually holds the roaches in place, forced to fight around that spine crawler. Hyun's reinforcements are locked into his natural base due to that queen, though. Scumbag queen, move your fat ass. There we go, now she hustles her bustle. But this is already not looking too great here for Hyun. The spine crawler is adding a lot of damage to this. The queens are definitely not going to stay alive for too much longer, but army supply-wise, it's definitely still in the favor of Alastor in a big way, and Hyun actually, his reinforcements are just about to pop. Lings in the main killed how many workers while that was going about? 6. Now a little more going to go down as the drones are being pulled here at the natural. This is an attack that definitely caught Hyun off guard, completely out of nowhere. That Ling run by, drawing all the forces to the main, was everything Alastor wanted to have happen, and then some. Hyun's not even burrow microing his roaches, despite the fact that he does have tunneling claws. He's got a couple roaches burrowed, but I mean, that's hardly micro. Unfortunately, it looks like Alastor may have just a little bit too much. No spine crawlers in the main being thrown down, just pure roaches being pumped down. Roach versus roach, Alastor's already got the upper hand, so as long as he takes equal losses at this point, he will be ahead. Now, Hyun's starting to burrow his roaches, realizing he needs to sort of just like bulk them up. He can't afford to come in piecemeal like he has been, but it might be too late already. Cutting off reinforcements to the main, fighting around the natural base, still dancing around. Drones have been pulled once again. Hyun's down to 19 workers, though, and that number's going to become even less by the time this fight's finished. 1-1 versus 1-1. The only distinct, I guess, difference is the attack of that burrow. As we see, it's healing up quite nicely, but Hyun just doesn't have the numbers. Is the burrow healing going to be enough to make up the numbers? It's looking like a big no. I mean, it'd be super cool if Hyun had that Ghost 2 micro, but here's the Overseer, so now he can't even really burrow anymore. His trick has been revealed. Now retreating towards the main once again. Hyun is doing what he can to hold on to this game, but game number 1 is looking to go in the favor of Alastor from Vega Squadron, and I told you guys, you could count on Vega Squadron to be good. More roaches been burrowed, more roaches trying to hide, but Hyun has got that Overseer to worry about. It's 98 to 32 as far as army supply goes, but it's just still the roaches. Hyun has actually got 3 workers remaining here at the third base. 2 workers remaining. His lifeblood is literally ticking away. He's making some lings now to go on top of this. Something I wish he would have done a little bit earlier, to be honest, once he started running out of numbers through that choke. But yeah, that's looking to be about game here. Really love Hyun, but I've never seen someone come back from a 0 worker deficit. If he does, this will be the most epic game of all time, that's for sure. But even with the lings flooding in, they don't have metabolic boost, so even connecting to these roaches is going to take some time. Good game is called, and Alastor from Vega Squadron will take game number 1.